Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember my tutorial group.
Okay.
I think I sit. I think
You're saying C then.
yeah. What do we have after this? Lunch?
I am not sure.
I thought we were just just out of the left.
We have lunch after.
Yeah.
Lunch? Okay. Because the timing schedule's weird. Yesterday I think it was 2 hours, and today it was 90 minutes.
Oh, for all the different testing.
Yeah.
You guys been testing all week?
Yes.
Do you have the test the rest of the week?
Matthew, nice job getting your stuff out.
If you need a MacBook, you can get it off the shelf.
I see you, sir.
I'm not being sarcastic. They look very sweet and
Go ahead and get your notes sheet out of the bucket and write your name and today's date.
Smile, Greg.
Oh.
Wait.
I don't know if I can answer.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can answer.
I don't think we need it. I think everyone's too busy. Is everyone there?
Did I hear dang it? They just wrap it around here. I don't know if I can work on this.
This table's not put high up. Every time I put, every time I put the reinforcers on there,
It's okay if you can have
I'll probably put it down. I have Wings Binder and his tutorial. I have to go find it. I gotta go find Boone. Oh, yeah.
I feel as if my face should get burned out. I don't need
In
to.
your tutorial group,
See you,
you
man.
have forgotten.
Greg, can you put that next to you so you make sure that says over there?
What do you start out with?
Huh?
You need to know.
Oh, Caroline and Charles.
Okay. Oh, and Matthew needs some. Do you need the newspaper?
Yeah.
One more.
Thank you.
I need one too.
We're gonna be in one of those like videos
Alright, if anybody came unprepared today, you could bring me up your TRF so I can get that marked, please. And if you need resources off the shelf, you can get those, but I do expect those out by the time I get to your seat.
Oh, yeah, we do that. Yeah.
Will here today?
Who?
Will?
Yeah, he's
I did. Who else is in your group?
Sam.
He's here. Alright, you guys, so I'll be coming around in just a few minutes to check your TRFs and your resources. A few reminders. The first thing I want you to do is share your questions to determine who's going to go first. And then I want you to focus today during tutorial on the color change. So don't forget, you do one color for your pre-work, and when you're done copying from your TRF, you're gonna switch colors, okay? And do your tutorial work in a different color. And then the third thing I want you to do during tutorial today, and group members encourage the presenter to do this, is to make sure they complete their steps all the way to the solution, okay? So make sure they're writing in words what they continue to do during tutorial all the way down to their solution. Does anybody have any questions before we start? All right, go ahead and get started.
Who wants to start? Mine was graph the piecewise function. Was this worksheet, this homework?
Okay, I was finding the inverse of a function or equation.
I need to graph a piecewise function.
So me and Ford have the same one.
Yeah.
Emma, you have the same one?
No, I switched mine. I have a graded classwork and how do I graph / shade the system of inequalities.
How do I graph the points of a piecewise function to make a continuous piecewise function?
I have to find the solution to the systems of equations. Yeah.
Identify the correlation coefficient.
So who had the same ones?
Me and all three of us? Okay, who wants to share it?
Who feels like they need help on it?
I do, cause look.
Okay, so Ford, do you want to share it?
Yeah. Okay.
Who's going to be your note taker?
I can.
Okay. Do you have a separate color?
Basically,
A separate color.
Here's a
Pen.
Is anybody over here?
Complementary color.
use this one.
I did this. Who wants to take me?
Which of these statements is correct? Yeah. I think she's in the media center in the office. They're looking for Miss Lou.
Yeah.
That's why there.
Okay, alright. But then this guy.
I'm gonna write a whole bunch of equations.
Oh, fun.
Strew.
Yeah.
3x.
Yeah,
Says 3x minus 12. And they're back. So I would have to subtract 3x from the equation. So then you have 6 equals negative 12. So,
Okay. No, so which one is your, what is your, okay, that one is obviously correct.
what it says,
Well, let's do a paper.
alright, here's the paper. It says, here are like A, B, C, and D for the answers. It says the system has no solution. The solution to the system is -2, -6. The solution to the system is 0, -6, and the system has. Alright, so that is then.
Okay, so now it makes more sense.
So then right here.
Oh, this is elimination.
It's the satellite.
Good job.
It's basically just subtract.
Okay, step
So now you're
one.
not.
What did we do last time? We used
Graph taper.
subtract
We can,
We're gonna rewrite this around.
Yes. So, I actually forgot a step on here. So what I meant to do is like, the actual problem you have y equals 3x plus 6. Then you have y equals 3x minus 12. But since they both equal y, then they equal each other. So then you would have to do, then this equals that, so then you just do 3x plus 6 equals 3x minus 12. So that actually, I forgot about that part. But you got, so actually, the first step is to combine the two equations. Because
You can tape it if you want.
No, I don't.
number 2. So,
Like in 4.
And then I believe I subtract.
Or you can
Well, I know I can eliminate this.
and then you add
Oh, yeah. So 9x plus -5 would be 4x.
You got control,
just do 22
I
minutes.
cross these two out.
No,
8 out.
only because it's not behind the equal sign. If it's substitution, that means you have to put in something. You have to put in another number
So I do 16 divided by 4.
to take place of that other number or the variable.
Okay, so yeah, that I pretty much got that. I just. Oh, this is
Divide by the exponent. The exponent comes with it. You want to find x by itself, so you just want to divide by 4.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Not really.
Yes,
There is a difference.
Alright, let's see, the 16.
You can't put a 4x in there. You need a scientific
I
calculator.
know that the y-intercept is 6, but that's all I.
Yes,
And
that's
then
no
now we gotta find y. So then we just plug in x. So we'll do this one. That one. 9 4 plus 2y equals. So 9 times 4 is just calculate. 36. 36.
but apparently I got it right.
Okay, Drew, who's taking your notes?
So I
Let me
did
get
it.
your notes.
I did it anyway.
I'll take yours. Where's your paper?
This is the problem.
But, oh, I take notes. You just get new paper.
Hang on. Go ahead. Are you taking these notes? I thought I was.
34 y. I just did that in my steps.
So Logan reminded you that you can't combine. If I have a letter X sitting in this hand and $5,
No, she's not.
I combine those two things. Alright, combine the Y numbers. We have numbers on both sides, right? We have a 36 and a 22. So how can we combine them that we're on different?
Like,
So come back.
y equals 2x. I can't read it from there.
Just write. Okay, this is why you don't take notes, because you get all.
Then where do you put it?
Okay.
Okay,
My God.
Yeah, I know that. Negative 5.
No, I'm not ready.
Alright, you're using substitution.
Yeah.
Now I'm.
Is that a negative thing or
Right,
if
yeah.
it does? Okay, I didn't see it.
No, I
I
don't
didn't know. Oh, that's C. What am I doing?
Wait, so can we like see the graph?
Yeah, you still have the orange stuff in the middle. You have two right there. You have two.
This equation models the relationship.
That's why.
So which one did you think of?
Alright, so
-3 times.
can you graph any points like on the graph?
-5.
Any points or maybe round some of the numbers down.
Did you
Like
or did you
like where it says 0.5 and 5
Now,
like that.
I guess so, yeah. Guess, I don't know.
and then we still need this part.
What did you get for your answer?
We still need this part, so.
You need to do it.
What? Negative. Right.
That make no sense.
Alright,
Sure, anything you can add to him, that'd be great.
what,
So now.
I just what I
do you
don't
have to
understand is
simplify
like,
anything there?
what I do is, find all this stuff.
Okay,
Let me
so.
Well,
like a problem I have to solve.
Yeah, it's on
No, it's not like that. So, 10x. Does 10x sound like it's gonna work on this if it only goes up?
I can't see the graph.
Alright, so can you cross out 10x? So say no to 10x.
Would not be switch
Yeah,
color.
that's true.
So what
So
about,
as he writes,
Would not be 10x.
kind of.
like, so if we graph that point here, 0.5 and 5. What about 1/2 x?
Sorry,
It might be 1/2.
Like what about, does 1/2 x equal 0.5?
Yes, it does.
Alright,
So could that be the answer? Because
yeah.
what?
Great, because if you can see how it's supposed to be done, it might work.
Oh,
And if you're still stuck, call me over.
Does this make sense? Like here's the graph. 0.5 and then 5 and then it goes up. 0.5 is equal to 1/2 and it goes up.
Yeah.
Like if you plotted points on it, it would be the slope would be 1/2.
So explain to me what slope means.
Slope is like, on a graph kind of, it's like the point that kind of makes a slope.
Okay, so there's two words that kind of help us know how to move on a graph. Do you know what those words are? They both begin with the letter R.
They
Yeah.
both of them.
Do you know what it is?
I know what they
I
are.
probably just,
Let's see if
They're
it's
both
in
R's.
Let's see if we can find it. Up here it is. Come look over here. Oh.
Remember like delta,
What does it
delta
say?
x over delta.
rise and run.
Rise over 1. So if we put our two dots here, all right, we need to find out how much we're rising
How much you
and
run.
how much we're running, right? So from 0.5 to 1, how much are we rising? From 0.5 to
0.5.
Good. Which one of these equals 0.5?
So you were right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It's pretty much rise. I was like
All right. So can you kind of explain that on your steps?
on the steps.
On the steps.
Yeah, no, but I'm
Like
not.
why you picked D?
Now with a different color.
Yeah, you just use different color.
So,
These are your resources.
You
how do I explain that?
you use the method rise
rise
over
over
run.
Yeah.
This is where your problem's from. Do you have any notes on inverse functions or piecewise functions?
Find the slope of
Can
the
you
graph.
pull some out so I can
Yeah.
resource points? See if you have any. If not, if you're, could you use Ashley's notes? They're similar to this.
1/2 f. Or why you double.
And then, we're doing this. So these are some notes.
tried it.
I
It
can
only
look
goes
Okay.
in.
Rhinos are pretty
It
simple.
doesn't go over. But I think this is right because it makes one.
Yeah, that's true.
Connected.
No, I don't think I've used that paper, so I can definitely.
Okay, wait, Ford. So, would this be an open circle or a
It's the same
closed
thing, and then you put on
This one is a
I've
closed
used
circle.
Ashley's and it's
It's an open circle and this one.
So would you fully close it?
Thank you.
Like, yeah.
Girls, did that student come yet?
No,
No?
nope.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, I didn't see you walk in, Caroline. I'll email downstairs.
So, let me ask, do you understand how, so, if you have
Somewhat.
18 students in total, where would that be?
No, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Explain to us what you get about it. Would that be the, how you solve it?
I plugged in the points that are on there.
No, wait, the why?
Oh, yeah, I know, it's wrong, I meant like I didn't understand.
I mean, okay.
And then, what does that mean for,
I think I got it, I just.
what does that mean for your?
Could you take a test with this knowledge?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you taken a test for that?
No.
Oh,
Five is your B, three is your B, and five is
Wait,
your
I need to do this up here.
You need to write in your steps.
here, just trust me.
Wait, okay.
So, because
That's one.
your 18 is your total, and that's a Y.
Oh, wait, no.
So 18 is the total, that's Y.
Randomly picked -5, but it like happened to work out.
Oh, yes,
So,
they do.
plug in negative.
Yes, they do. Why equals that and y equals that, which means they combine, you put them together.
Yeah, sorry, I was just gonna tell you.
Why are you putting a 10?
But here is in the software. And
No.
this one,
So up here like that, since that's what
I had trouble with this one too, but what do you usually do for your equations?
Matthew, what's yours?
Inverse
You would
functions.
combine the equations
You
together.
can do that one.
So it'd be x plus 7 equals 4x minus 2.
What's that one?
Well, I did that too, and I got them all right. Look. Yeah.
So, does anybody have something?
No, you don't subtract by 18. Where did you get?
The last thing, which is down to Y, right?
Who's got your name?
At the very end, how did you write your answer? What is that?
You should write an equals.
Yes, because that's your B. You always subtract your B
Write
before
it
you
as
find your X, right?
something pair. Yes, ordered pair. So maybe say, okay, and then the last
And
one,
then-
write your answer, how do you write?
What is one of the methods you can use to find a fraction?
I am very proud of it. I was right.
You can inverse it. But it's tricky how you inverse it. You don't inverse the whole equation.
Plugging it in,
You, because 5 is being divided by 8, you just multiply 8 to 15.
now let's check it.
5x equals,
Same thing.
123,
So it'll be 120 equals
5x.
Yeah,
Because you get rid of your 8,
so
you get
that's.
rid of the 8 in your,
Right, so now.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
and then you get 120 equals 5x, then you divide by 5.
F of x equals x squared plus 10.
Would that be? Yeah.
She's doing it backwards, and she
Then we
has
got
to
a
do
3.
that. Yep, so you know that one works.
Yeah.
above it. I guess just find the square root.
Matthew, shouldn't the square be gone since you square rooted it?
Oh, so it'll just be y. Okay.
You didn't need to call
What that's equal for is the base 10.
Equals.
So you're doing
This
remember, when you
Okay.
No, when you get rid of this square piece, you have to get rid of this thing.
Oh,
'Cause that's
so
they
it's
can't.
just y.
right, hundreds and thousands. So this is just
So it would be
This wouldn't work because y
x minus 10 squared equals
write
y.
it in by hand because all that's telling you.
Do you remember the equation that was like opposite of
From 10
plus
and
or
hundreds
minus?
to thousands.
Do you want just like the square root of
So that's
it?
Oh, okay. Quadratic formula.
Okay, well,
That.
Yeah, but you don't have to use that. It's just something very important.
what's it be? Plus or minus the square root of b squared minus
Minus the square root.
You put that into the square root.
Plus or minus square root.
Yes.
So
Plus.
this is telling you.
No, you
I'm
get.
going in
The square root of 4
because I'm
to
going
or
from
negative 2.
1
So,
to 10.
When you have the square root symbol, wouldn't you have to have plus or minus to know if it's a negative or a positive?
Yeah, so you'd add the plus or minus sign to it. Oh, no, not yet.
Yes.
so do you write
No.
that?
That's how you
Rewrite that equation.
Caroline.
You
Yeah,
do
no, it's right. Greg, it's right. Greg,
It's right.
you're wrong.
Okay. Matthew, write your steps out.
Okay. Wait, so that's it? Oh, wait, I think I have to write that.
No, wait, no, I'm just getting confused because of what I'm on that side.
Okay.
See.
Write it
Wait,
in
hold on.
function notation.
Okay, now you know the direction.
Kind of like her grading your tutorial, even though she's not seeing it, but she can see what she did through this.
If you do a good job on the reflection,
Yeah.
it walks her through the tutorial.
What is that? 10 to 30.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Don't
Do you ever get bored doing them, or do you think that it's a good recap?
think it's good.
So 10 times 10 is.
It just helps you
100.
to better understand.
Times 10 more is 1,000. So if it was 10, I would do 6.
But it makes you think about it all over again, right?
Yeah.
So positive actually, that's
Actually, I have to
bigger.
think harder. I guess when
Negative
you're
is
doing this.
actually smaller.
Whereas you have to be like,
So
okay, so
does
I
that make
learned
sense? So maybe
this
that's
mistake. Sometimes it just slips your mind
negative
and you actually have to
exponent
think.
tells you you need to do that. And the positive exponent actually.
Good work today.
Does that make sense? Yep, just, or right, you'll say no, but you can say Ford had the same problem. That way I know you got your answer through his problem. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Ms. Grassa,
Yeah.
if you have a calculator in school, get that throw off.
Okay, so can you
Okay.
sum up what you did?
Yeah, to find the inverse of f of x equals x squared plus 10,
But
you switch,
I don't want to
first
teach
switch the
something
variables,
that isn't going to
second
come out
subtract 10 from
correctly.
the right side, add it to the left side.
So should I
For
make
step,
that math?
no, you just
Or
minus
should I
10
just
and then
teach
you
them
bring it to the
math?
left side.
Okay.
So
Because I think
then you
it's
square
important
root
to have
both sides
math
and then you add the
first.
plus and minus sign.
Well, yeah.
Then you, and then
So
the final
maybe
step is you
once
just
she
put in
finds
function notation form.
Okay.
she'll be able to
So you understand about it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that you can take it that there was a
Yeah.
math error?
Okay.
It does.
No, actually, she doesn't do it right on the board.
But that is a. Yeah.
Okay, so, so now that we
They work hard.
Okay, so then that's what, does that make sense? So before, I didn't see it before, but before you might not have had any similarities, right? But now, now we do. So if you were to regraph it, which we don't have time to do, but if we were to regraph it, this would teacher did, this point where they intersect would be this one right here, because that's where it's the same.
And
Does that make sense?
what a break-even point is it means if you take the y and the other y and subtract them, it'll come out 0. And if you take the x and the x and subtract them, that will also come out 0.
Because
Break-even just means that they intersect, basically. It's just finding their intersect.
So if you can't reflect on yours, because we didn't go through all of these steps, then you can reflect this on X's. If you can explain that it's a math error, or a math error, you can see over. All right, you guys, can I have your attention up here for just 1 second, please? Nice job today for tutorial. As you know, the reflection counts 50% of your grade, so I want to make sure that we refresh your memory and to help you guys get the most points. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of what my expectation is for tutorial. All right, so this is one that had some problems. All right, so the first thing you need to remember is that to answer this question, did you present today? Yes or no, so make sure you've marked that. If you presented, then you're writing your point of confusion, right? If you did not present, then you need to write the point of confusion from someone in your group whose problem you learned something from today, all right? So this student wrote what his point of confusion was, so my comment is you didn't present, so you should have Sean's point of confusion here, because that's who he reflected on, all right? So make sure that your point of confusion goes here, or you've identified whose point of confusion you learned from today. All right, then you're going to answer this one. This is what did you learn about your point of confusion, or what did you learn about the point of confusion from the person who presented today? All right? So it appears that this student's telling me what Sean learned. I don't want to know what Sean learned. I want to know what you learned. Does that make sense? And then the last question today that we're focusing on, this one, is what new knowledge did you gain? Either what did you gain or when did you gain it? So kind of like, when was your aha moment? All right, again, this student told me what Sean learned instead of what he learned. So let me show you an exemplar one. All right, so this student didn't understand how his answer was incorrect. He wrote x squared equals 16, and then he got x equals 8. What did this student do wrong?
He didn't square properly.
Right, he did divide it by 2, right? He mixed up and thought the inverse of squaring was to divide by 2. So he explained that to me. He said, I learned that to get x by itself, you need to find the square root. So clearly explain to me what he learned. And then when did he learn it? I gained it by finding out that I need to get x by itself by doing the square root. And then he showed me the math up there. So just make sure you're thoroughly explaining to me what you learned and when you learned it, or how you learned it. Okay? All right, go ahead and reflect. Those are the 3 questions I want you to work on today. And you have about 12 minutes to do so. Oh, that's just a note to me that you brought extra practice.
And I need you to say and spell your name.
Hi, I'm Matthew Gerbil. I'm a CMS.
Spell your name.
Oh, spell my name. Oh, okay. So MATTHEGRIBBLE.
And what grade are you in?
8th grade.
Okay, you ready? Go ahead.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
All right, so Matthew, you are
Let's try to stand still.
Okay.
you're new to tutorials. You're new to AVID.
Mhm.
How have tutorials helped you? How have they been a benefit to you for school?
Yeah, they've been a huge benefit. It mostly helps me out in math class because I would normally get like D's and E's, just not understanding what to do. But I just joined in AVID halfway through the year, and I already see me getting like B's, like high B's around that grade, and it's really helped because of tutorials.
What is it, do you think, about the tutorial that helps you with your math grade?
Probably when you ask questions or people ask you questions, because they like ask you and make you understand what you have to do to get it right.
So do they tell you the answers?
No, they don't tell you the answers. They make you figure it out.
What else do you enjoy about the tutorial process?
I like how you can just bring in any work that you don't know. So say I've had so much work, but I know most of it, but there's like one question that I still want to know, I can just bring in that one question and then get it answered for me. Okay, thank you.
All right, I need you to say and spell your name.
Ashley Rogers, ASHLEY
Okay.
So you've been in AVID since 6th grade.
Yep.
How do you think tutorials have changed over the years that you've been in AVID?
Well, in 6th grade, it was kind of all over the place. We'd kind of just go off of the first person that would raise their hands, and not everyone would participate because not everyone had the courage to. 7th grade, we kind of fixed it a little bit. We started saying our questions first, and that helped everyone understand the problems that the whole group was having, and we were able to identify what was the biggest problem that needed to be solved quickly. 8th grade, it's changed a lot. It's a lot more orderly. We've gotten a lot more done, and we can solve a lot more of people's problems quickly.
Why do you think that is? What's been put in place that makes it more orderly and quickly?
Well, we've kind of just realized like it's not helpful to just raise your hand all the time and always present, and it's easier to have other people present in class.
What do you think about now? When did you start having to use 2 different colors, and what do you think about that?
We started that this year, and when you present and you have your notes and there's the 2 different colors and all, it helps a lot to see what you've learned and what you still need to work on.
Anything else you want to tell us about the tutorials?
Not really.
Okay. Thank you. Next word.
Say and spell your name.
Jessica Lester, JESSICALESTER.
Okay. Go ahead.
Jessica, how long have you been in AVID?
Since 6th grade.
Since 6th grade, here at Central Middle School?
Yes.
Can you tell me about any changes in the tutorial process in 6th grade?
Well, in 6th grade, I had no idea what to do. It was like tutorial was new to me. Like coming out of 5th grade, like, oh, it's gonna be so easy, and it's like it wasn't easy at all. It was like everything was like all together, and it's like all being like thrown at us at once, and I had no idea what to do. But in 7th grade, it was a little bit easier, but more people were like not wanting to present. But then this year, it was like people were like, oh, I need to like keep my grade up so I can go get into college, get into high school. So they like actually, what's the word for it? They tried for a tutorial. People were presented for this. Yeah.
Do you feel like this year your teachers are focusing on any particular part of the tutorial process?
It's mainly the presentation of the tutorial.
And how did that focus help you?
Well, it like made me want to like understand like the problem more and like write it out more and like talk about it more with the peers that sit around the table with me. Yeah.
And how did tutorials help you?
They help me like if I don't know what the answer is to a problem, that'll help me out because I'll be able to like solve the problem easier, and it'll be like it's not as hard.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
Jessica.
you.
Okay, say and spell your name.
Sam Kuhn, and it's spelled SAMKUHN, but sometimes I go by Samuel.
Okay.
SAMUEL.
All right, how long have you been in AVID, Sam?
I've been in since 6th grade.
Okay, how How have you seen tutorials change over the years?
Well, in 6th grade, it was kind of out of control. We all kind of did problems that like we already knew how to do because we didn't really care about it. We thought it was just like baloney, I guess. But 7th grade, it changed because I had Miss Grosso in 6th, and when I got Miss Luke in 7th, and I feel like she kind of enforced it more, because like I ended up having like a really bad grade in social studies, so she put me on like probation and had me stay after every Tuesday and Thursday to work on like tutorials and like Cornell notes. And then my grade actually went up towards the end of the year. I think it was like 3rd marking period. It was like an 80, and I had like the highest grade. And on the quarterly, I had the highest grade in the class, the quarterly assessment. And I was like, wow. And I think tutorial really helps because like a lot of things you can't get from the teacher. So then like I'll be listening to him talk, and then some kids understand, but then you might not. So you go, your teacher and your peers can explain like about what a dynasty is, because we were learning about like the Chinese dynasty. And now this year, we all bring in like, it's a lot of math is what like everybody really brings in. But it's more, you sit down, you go in the classroom, you're in your group, like there's no more like teacher putting you in groups, like assigning you where to go. You're just ready to go. Like, you know what to do, you do it all yourself, you say your problems. Like, they don't have to say, okay, let's start tutorial. Like, you just go in and we've already started.
So it saves a lot of time.
It does. It really gets going. Because, like, we used to be able to only finish one person, and now we can finish up to, like, did you see the huge group in there? We can finish, like, 3-5 people.
Yeah, that's great. What do you think about using 2 different colors? Why do you think they have you do that?
So with the 2 different colors, say I picked black as my first color and red as my second color, and I used black because black is what I had already written on the tutorial. Red is any like things that were added on, like what your peers told you, like you just add that on. So like you know it's in a different color, you know that that wasn't already there.
Very good. And do you feel like your teachers this year have focused in on asking questions at all?
Yeah. I feel like they do focus on like how like good questions, like we have this paper and it's like level 4 questions, level 1 questions, like it's like a pyramid. It's like in like words, it says like for example, or like can you infer that, and it uses some like really like sophisticated words instead of just saying like which and what, and like, but you can really make it sound like professional. Like,
do you like sounding that way?
Sometimes.
Anything else you want to tell us about tutorials?
Well, she said that the reflection is 50% of your grade, and that actually just started this year. So it's like, at first the reflection was really hard to do. I was like, what am I supposed to write? And now I kind of understand what it's like meant for. Like, you're supposed to revise and like review everything. Don't let it like slip your mind. Let it like, and so the teacher, she can't like watch every single tutorial. So you take what you did in the tutorial and put it on that paper, and she can read it and then know exactly what the tutorial was like.
Perfect. Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome.
Thanks for mentioning the reflection.
The groups the last time to make sure, because I think we must have had people absent.
Yep.
So I think we split it down into 3, but now these groups are looking pretty big to me.
Usually it was 4.
Is Shane Tripp here today?
Yes.
And Brianna? And Wesley? Pearl? And Denasia. I need you guys at this table. We're going to do 4 groups today. At the back table, it should be Gunnar and Wesley Corcoran. Ellen, Shelby, and Ella.
Ella. I was always in it.
Ella's over there.
Yeah, this is
I'm
our
over
girl.
here.
Yeah.
Over at your table, I should have Brianna.
No, Brianna. She wasn't. She
So Shane, Olivia, Abby, Jason, Katie.
Yeah. No, Katie's not.
Ella. But remember, I've rearranged groups a couple of times. And then up in this group, Parker, Annabelle, Josh, Mia, Owen. Who's there that shouldn't be there?
We're always like, yeah,
You are?
we never change.
Okay. So I only have 3 people at this table now? Yeah, Shane, you should be up here at this table.
Shane's always. Yeah, Shane's always.
Source. And of course your source. I'm coming around to check your TRF. I'm also coming to check your source and your resource. If your resource is not out when I walk around to your table and you're searching for it, then I'm not giving you credit for the resource. You guys know you have to have that out first and foremost when you come in.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's not.
You guys should also have your agendas out. Updating your agenda.
Yeah. Had a taste. Did you get anything?
That's good. That's a really good. You guys are doing a nice job bringing those resources today. That's perfect. Awesome. Beautiful. Did I get you? Yep. Resource.
I wrote down this.
So everybody, you see like all of these other resources that books have. Your teachers, do your teachers give you anything at all, or you didn't just go into a notebook or something? No. Didn't your definitions here? Where's the original question? Source. From where? That's all there is. So like you should have at least tried to draw. Yes, you did down here, but you should at least draw the thing up here. Okay. And resource. Perfect. Are you guys in the same class? You should put your name on that, by the way. Are you both in the same class? We have a teacher. We have the same teacher. So did you have that resource? That he brought? She didn't give it to you?
No.
Were you absent any days?
Me?
Yeah.
No, but we're in different periods, so she.
I remember getting that. I think I can't imagine she would have given it to
This
one
was a whole
period.
entire class thing. I think she's talking about this. Oh, I have that.
Yeah, that's a resource. Because that has the definitions on it.
I'm doing it this. I'm doing this one.
Oh, it's a different type of problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I
That's
gotcha.
from-
Okay.
That's
We're doing like 7th grade for homework and
Yeah.
learning.
So that's all I do.
Okay.
All right, let's have everybody look up here, please. Thanks. Everybody with me? Okay. So, as far as your agenda goes, is there anything else that needs to be added to this for this week that I've missed? No one has anything else? Some people were asking if Mrs. Sieber had homework this week, and I don't think she's giving it because you guys are testing. So she's not giving it, yes.
Well, it's not really like something to do, but like tomorrow we don't have language arts and social studies, and then Friday we don't have math and science.
Right, so you were wondering what you should put in your agenda if you don't go to those classes. So if you were wondering that, then just put in there park testing or testing, and that's fine, okay? So yeah, I know you're not doing your course. All right, and then if we go into next week, just really quickly, We don't have a lot on there because you guys are going to park on Monday, and then interims do go home Friday the 5th, so make sure you have that in there. And that's pretty much it for the agenda for today.
No, I got my things. Today he went over it during the class.
Alright, a couple of things before we get started today. And if you guys could look over here, please. Thank you so much. Alright, when we're focusing today during tutorial, today our focus, our essential question. Does somebody want to read that for us? Alright, go ahead.
How can I improve my effectiveness as a group member during tutorials?
Right, how can I improve my effectiveness as a group member during tutorials? So you know all year we've been talking about and working towards being really good teammates, and that's why we want everyone to come prepared for tutorial, because if you don't come prepared for tutorial, then you're kind of letting your teammates down because you're not bringing a question to the table that can help other people as well. So we're going to think about this individually today and how you can improve your effectiveness. So could someone read this outcome for us? Go, Shane.
I can improve my effectiveness by selecting an area of focus for questioning.
Right. I can improve my effectiveness by selecting an area of focus for questioning, and that's what we're going to talk about in just a second. So if you take a look up here, and you take a look at this group member collaborative inquiry protocol, all right, this is something that came out from AVID. There are 2 areas that we're going to focus on today, and I want you to pick one of those 2 for yourself. So one of these 2 flagged areas, either number 4 or number 6. So number 4 says, question the student presenter to prompt deeper thinking to create understanding. So is that something that you want to focus on today? Question the student presenter to prompt deeper thinking to create understanding. Or do you want to focus today for you and have your intentional focus be check for student presenters' understanding? So that means after they finish, you're going to ask questions when they finish their presentation to get them to give an example to illustrate their understanding, or how they can find out if it's correct, or just to take it a step further. So for you personally, so not everyone in your group will have the same intentional focus for today. But I do want you to pick one of those 2 while you're being a group member today. So at the top right now, can you write either number 4 or number 6 at the top of your TRF? And then write down what it is that you're doing. Because when I take this paper down, you're not going to remember what number 4 was. I didn't even remember, and I just walked to the back of the room for a second. So if I pick number 4, this is what it's going to look like at the top of your paper, something like this. And I can even use a question mark just so I can write quicker. Question the presenter to prompt deeper thinking to create understanding. And of course the understanding is for that person. So that should be at the top, and just so that you're mindful of what you are trying to do today. And of course you're doing everything else regularly like you would in tutorial. And the other piece that I want to just reinforce to you is when you're up here presenting today, we want to focus on, let's see if they left any from the previous tutorial. We're going to focus on the color change. So remember, the pre-work is all in one color, right? We've been doing this for a while now. Pre-work's all in one color, and then as soon as you're getting ready to get input from your classmates, and when that switches, you're gonna switch colors with the marker. Thumbs up if you understand. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions before we start today? Yes.
I have a question. I can't see the number 6.
You are right. Thank you. And that really is a question. Thank you. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. You guys all read off your questions and then figure out who's going first.
No, find the value of x. Put your answer in the box below, then write the measure of each angle.
Okay, my question is find x. And I said, how do I find the equation to solve? My question is, what did I do wrong in my problem?
Guys, we're reading this.
My question is, how do I use the mean to find different values of data? Where do I start?
Mine is, how do you find a good strategy to calculate time?
Okay, so I'm gonna read mine because I actually read my question. How do I set up my equation to solve and to like figure or like set up? Does anybody want to go first? I'll take a quarter.
All the different types of egg salaries.
No, it's the lines and
Directions on a bottle, but then directions to make a cleaning product or something. Mix 1 cup of vinegar with 1 gallon of water to make a cleaning solution. The ratio of the water to the water is 116. And the question I have, the main one is 3 bottle hold up to 1.
You do your point of completion.
I am cleaning solution. When the gray barrel is full, what fraction of the cleaning solution? Yeah, I know. Get it?
That's all you're doing is reading your initial question. Nice job, Katie. Are these just notes?
The problem is in the
Alright, can I stand for that? Let's check to make sure I'm following I just had it.
I thought you had 50.
We didn't have papers, but we just did it on the
That's like
smart board. Wait, which question? 6?
10.
10.
5x plus 10.
Thank you.
Well, maybe you can get to the point where, you're working through it and then you can say, I think I know how to get the answer, but I need you to help check this. Alright, and check to make sure this is right. Alright, you're gonna use your PSC, which number? Remember this out of the way. Brianna, did you tell them which question's yours?
Oh, you want this
Question number 2, part A. Okay. 5, part A. Right, and she's the only one, so Mike does a little bit differently, that hates, and that's okay. So on the back, what you're gonna do is you're gonna write Brianna's name, like he did, at the top, so I'm gonna write that.
So, my problem is that basically the cost of last year's calendar, I don't know what the cost of last year's calendar was, but this year's calendar is $13.25.
I have a question.
and it grows 6% each year from last year. So meaning that whatever 6% of this, so what 6% of this minus 6 of that 6% is what how much last year's groundworks cost. So I've tried doing this. X equals 13.25 equals just 6 over 100, and then times these together, divide by that. Can you hand me a calculator? So that would be that's sorry. After you already. Times 6. That would be that would equal 7, 5. What do you know about is this, but I know this is wrong. I don't know if I've done something wrong here, and if I've done the equation wrong, or if I've done something wrong in the equation.
Do you think you can try just dividing 6.25 divided by 6 without the 100?
Okay, so just divide this from that.
Yeah.
Okay. So 13.25 by 6. That would
I think it's division 2 because they do percent. Oh,
do you know any of the steps that you have to do? No, I am confused because I don't know if this is right, but because of her, that seems wrong. So I don't know any steps.
have you tried getting the mean of 6% and dividing it by 13.25? What 6% equals? And then dividing it by
Well, I could do a rough steps of what I would know. So the first step would be find 6%. 6% of
Because you know that the outer one of the edge, U is when you add T and S together equals U. But you have to do 5x plus 10 plus 58.
Oh yeah, because that's inside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Break it down. Aha.
Oh, that's fresh.
Yeah.
And let's solve that.
Yeah. Because now I know that if it has a straight line, then it would be 180.
Somebody else say
Or how do you find it?
less than what is.
Okay. So what did you, can you just tell me what you did to?
He's up there right now.
I did, we would try finding what was the certain number, what percentage.
Did you use a calculator?
Okay.
But I would do that, I would reverse it, like X of it out of my zero.
Okay.
And go to 7. And I did this, got this, and I knew something wrong.
What did you, do you know what it is that you found there? What that number is?
So this, if I round it up, or the, 100.
Yeah, yes. Smash language. 80 cents, that's right.
Okay, here's your.
But what does that mean?
This from.
Can I get
So I guess what I'm asking, maybe you all can help as a group, what is this 80 cents representing that he found there? For you guys, Shelby, what is that representing?
like the 6%?
That's 6% of
The
$13.
so I was
Right.
probably
Right, why is this 79.5? Oh, because you rounded. Is that 13.25 times 675?
Yeah, that's what my hit and
Okay, so 80 cents. So
I feel like this is kind of solved.
that means that would make sense, right? Because that's
That seems
6%.
more sense than this. Because I don't remember the answer because like
Right.
and not the back.
Can I see your calculator for a second? Shelby, what did you want to say? She's got her hand up.
Can you like check the math, because I did it differently, if I got a different answer.
Did you use that? Did you use what I?
Yeah, I did what you did up there, but it, for the,
Which part do you want to check the
the,
math?
the one that, with the 1235, I just did it on the calculator and it was different.
Awesome. Hey, Wesley, you should offer me a calculator.
I have one right here.
Oh, can you, well, what, are you gonna do what she suggested?
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
should I do 13?
Oh, is that what you got?
This is wrong. This is supposed to be.
There you go. Alright, so you subtracted wrong. So $12.45.
That is my answer. So last year's number cost $12.25.
Okay.
Thank you, Shelby.
And the way that you found that was you took, can you kind of summarize it?
So how I found that was I did 13.25 times 6 divided by 100.
But like you're telling us all the numbers, so why did you do that? Why did you multiply 13.25 times 6? What were you trying to find?
Okay, so this is my,
What?
I was trying to find what 6% of
That's it. Right? Don't you agree? 6% of $13.25. Good. Once you found 6% of $13.25, what did you do?
I minus what that was rounded to in the 100 plus minus 1.45. Because
Did he say that right? Are you guys listening? $13.25 minus. You didn't take that minus that, right? So $13.25 minus 80 cents to get the original price. Alright. Alright, are these?
so, the x plus 20 times the x plus 45.
And then minus it from that.
Do you think that you should add them together, do someone with those two together? Yes, because they're on the line of things.
Wait, so that's right, Shelby. The aha moment. Thank you.
My aha moment,
Put an exclamation point next to it.
I think was somewhere around here. Somewhere around. Because I realized that was, because this was more.
Oh, so you don't know like when those
said you knew about 6% of the
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense, so $2. Now you're talking, right? You're making that math connection. Good job.
I don't have any.
No, we just.
Oh, I know.
There's like room on the back. We just don't fill the whole thing.
So which one's the
I use this, cause they're lined up.
What does 4x plus 50 take up that line too?
Yeah, but like, I'm confused with like, it's going out, so I'm thinking it comes out like this, not this. What if you, put the 55 in for x? And so
trying to find out the fraction of how much you're getting.
55.
So if this had only two angles, it would be a 90-degree angle in the middle. And since 4x plus 50 is there, it takes up space and it makes the two outer angles smaller. So the 4x plus 50 is part of the whole thing that takes up 180.
So what's your question?
Add it all together?
Yeah.
Alan had a really great question, and what you just said made sense. But what she said was a question that helped you to actually figure out if that's correct. So why don't you go back to Alan's question and say, I'm sorry.
Could you repeat that, please? But like, I understand that, like, you want the original. We didn't include this with the 180, so this is not like a fully x.
Oh.
So I have to do that after I figure out this.
Well, then go ahead and do it then.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna switch colors so I can go.
So while she's rewriting that, do you guys know why she left that out? Don't explain it. I'm asking them. You do your work.
Because she thought x, she didn't think that 4x was made up to be 180.
She felt like it wasn't, because of that, right, we're measuring that angle right there, right? So, right, that is an angle, it's just one smaller.
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay. Right, so if we only added these two angles, the value of x would be 55, if it was only those two angles. Shane, does that make sense to you?
So with the portion of vinegar,
Is there a part that you're confused
If you have any steps,
A
so
little
write
bit,
down.
like,
if they're just
for the equation that they chose, why didn't they just, instead of just doing x plus 25, if it was 45, couldn't they find?
If one cup is gonna be a 1 to 16 ratio, so on that cup, and think about this, how much of that is gonna be? It'll be 1 to 16, is that what you put down there for your answer? One cup, but we're gonna break the cups down into 16 parts.
Why are you putting that?
We have to break that cup into 16. It's got flour.
Okay, so.
Is it up or down?
That would be 600. So do you normally wear it up? I'm kind of taking shorts. Owen, do you have any ideas?
it'd be 0.0625.
Yeah, it's 0.06. Yeah, it's 0.06.
Yeah, 0.06. I mean, that's but it should be.
Doesn't look right, but
Abby, did you understand?
Yeah.
I feel like
Oh, good. Sounds good. I want you to say and spell your name.
Name is Gunnar, G-U-N-N-A-R.
And your last name.
My last name is Parlett, P-A-R-L-E-T-T.
And what grade are you
In 7th grade.
in? Okay, go ahead.
All right, Gunnar, so how have tutorials changed from 6th grade to 7th grade?
Well, I've had a teacher in 6th grade that was different than I have in 7th grade.
Your AVID teacher is different?
So my 6th grade teacher, we wouldn't say what our question was before, but my 7th grade teacher now makes us do that.
So in the beginning, when you start tutorials, I have you this year read off your questions all in a circle first before you pick a person?
Yes.
Okay.
Also that we've had a new way of writing down notes of our 3-column notes. We've always had someone else take it or the person helping us, but it went from the T-chart to now 3 columns. But it used to be the T-chart last year, and now it's the 3 columns.
Okay. All right, so how do tutorials help you in school?
Tutorials help me because I'll have problems with stuff in math that I will probably not even understand. And maybe someone else does, and I can go, okay, well, do you understand this? And be like, oh yeah, sure, I understand this. So can you help me go through this? And they help me go through this step by step until I understand it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Gunnar.
You're welcome.
Nice job. For him when he asks you, just so you know, say them both together.
Okay.
Spell them.
Okay, so your first and last name.
Mia Bergendahl, M-I-A-B-E-R-G-E-N-D-A-H-L.
Okay.
Okay, so Mia, how have tutorials changed from 6th to 7th grade?
We know a lot more and we ask better questions, and I feel like we're more experienced with it because we aren't new to the school or new to the process anymore.
When you say you ask, do you ask better questions, what do you mean by that?
Higher level questions. Last year we didn't really know what we were doing and what a higher level question was. And this year we've had the experience from before, so we know that we need to ask higher level questions.
Okay. Do you think that it's different this year with having your set tutorial groups when you walk in the room? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Is it different?
And just how maybe that works for you.
I think it's good because we know them and that's our group and it's planned out. And I like when things are planned out.
Okay,
So.
good. And how do tutorials help you in school?
It gives me a better understanding of what we're learning in class and how other kids are learning it and how they think about it differently than I do, and how they can help me and how I can help them.
Great. Okay, that's it. Thanks.
Okay, why don't you say and spell your name?
My name's Abigail Brown, A-B-I-G-A-I-L-B-R-O-W-N.
Okay, and Abby, can you tell me a little bit how tutorials have changed from 6th to 7th grade?
Tutorials, paper-wise, it hasn't really changed. Everything's still the same on the paper, but the groups and everybody in our class has different understandings, and we know different stuff and better stuff, so we know know and understand stuff better to help other classmates.
Okay, so when you say stuff, what do you mean exactly? We know
Like math problems, we know like equations better, we know division better, we know like just the simple stuff that we learn in math class or like social studies or any of our other core classes.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about how tutorials help you?
Tutorials impact me on my understanding of my point of confusion, which is usually math, because math is one of my hardest classes to understand because there's a lot of process to go through it. And it just makes my understanding better, and I know how to do that equation after or math problem after tutorial because my group helped me with it.
Can can you explain a little bit how your group does help you to understand it better?
Well,
Are they telling you how to do it?
They're not telling me how to do it. My group walks me through the steps in the process, and they ask me questions, and I have to answer the questions based on what they're trying to get me to say. They can't just tell me the straight up answer, but they help me a lot, actually.
Very good, thanks. Awesome.
Thank you.
Very good. All right, let me see if I can grab one.
Okay, say and spell your name.
My name is Wesley, ESLEY-CORKRAN.
Okay.
All right, Wesley, can you tell me a little bit about how tutorials are different from 6th to 7th grade?
Well, 6th grade, it was like a lot of like, we didn't know what to do and it was harder. And like the questions are a lot more, like they're more valuable because they actually give you a good answer than last year. It was just like, maybe try dividing. And they'll tell you like, they'll go on and say, divide the variable and then you'll know what to do because they help you with it. But last year it wasn't that helpful as this year.
So are you saying that in 7th grade your group mates and teammates ask better questions
Yeah.
for you rather than just telling you what to do?
Yes.
Great, thanks. Anything
Can you say that? Because we won't hear you
Oh,
say.
you don't?
No.
Okay.
So could you repeat what she just?
My group mates ask better questions.
Oh, yeah, my group mates also asked better questions than they did last year instead of telling me the answer.
Perfect, thanks. And is there, tell us a little bit about the change with the marker colors.
Well, the change with the marker colors help because it's not confusing when you're writing something down that they told you instead of writing something down that you already told, because you might get it mixed up. Instead of writing with different colors, you'll know where your answers are.
So can you talk about the difference between the pre-work and then what you're doing during the tutorial?
Well, the pre-work is usually in a different color than the questions they asked you, and so the pre-work is where you already know everything, and like that would be like a blue, and then the questions that they ask you is like a purple, and then you'll figure out which one's which because you have different colors.
Nicely done, good job. And then can you talk a little bit about how tutorials help you in your regular classes, core classes?
Well, tutorials help me because I'll know the answer when in different questions, and I'll know how to do them easier. And last year, it was not that much of a help than this year because last year, you didn't get that much of a full answer. They just kind of gave you the answer, but this year, they kind of work you through the answers, and now you'll know how to do the answers during class.
So talk a little bit about the question, the type of question that you bring. Like, do you bring questions that you already know how to do, or do you bring questions that you have confusion with?
Sometimes I bring questions that I struggle with, and sometimes I bring them that I'm like a little bit shaky with, but I can still do them sometimes. And whenever I do the ones that I'm a little bit shaky with, whenever I do it, I just take a little bit of time to do it, and it helps me more so I can just get a greater understanding of how to do them. But when I bring in ones I don't know how to do, and I might not have caught it in class, my group mates help me through the process and get me through the work.
All right, thanks. Good job. Thank you.
To say and spell your name.
I'm sorry?
Say and spell your name.
Joanna, Joanna.
Last name.
Oriana, Orellana.
And what grade are you in?
I'm in 8th grade.
Okay. Yeah, she's done that.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
So try not to look in the hall. Just look at me.
Okay.
All right. So, Joanna, can you tell me a little bit about how tutorials changed from 7th to 8th grade?
I've seen that last year there was 3 columns and we used one whole color, and that this year we write out our work, and then if we get it wrong, then we get a different color and we make our corrections with that new color. And yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about how that color change helps you from the pre-work to knowing what you learned in the tutorial part?
I will always get confused because I didn't know if the first time I got it right or wrong because it was one whole color. But now that I get a different color, I can see my mistake, and I can like
tell what's different.
Yeah, tell what's different, and I can like go over it and see what I did wrong and learn from my mistake.
Okay. Do you do you do the aha moment? Do you ever put an exclamation point near your aha moment? I know some of my classes do that. No? Okay.
I barely don't.
Okay. Can you tell me how the tutorials help you in your core classes?
It prepares me for my next test, and it helps me get more ready, and I feel more confident that if I do it in tutorial and my classmates help me, I get to know what they know, and they also help me, and that prepares me for my next test or quiz.
So one of the other things that's different this year is having set tutorial groups when you walk in the room. Can you talk a little bit about set tutorial groups and how that's helpful?
What do you mean?
Like, you know how last year I would collect all the TRFs and then I would like hand them out and make new groups each week, but now you know which group you're in each week. So how does knowing what group you're in each week help you?
It helps me because like we can get started right away, and it also like we sometimes have in my group we have the same teacher, and so we sometimes have the same point of confusion, and like and others have the different teacher, and sometimes they teach it a different way, and if I have the same teacher, then it helps me, like I can say, oh yeah, she said that, or no, I don't remember her saying that or teaching that us.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, good job. All right, congrats.
Okay, first I want you to say and spell your name.
My name is Edwin Aquino, EDWIN AQUINO.
Okay, and what grade are you in?
I'm in the 8th grade.
All right.
I snuck in.
Go ahead.
Edwin, can you tell us a little bit about how tutorials have changed from last year to this year? Hold on a second. Hey, Miss Holloway, we're trying to film. That's okay. Can you tell us a little bit about how tutorials changed from last year to this year?
Well, before we didn't have much stuff to make it, because it was a bit complex before, but now they've simplified it. There's simpler versions of taking 3-column notes, and we have to change colors to when one color for when we were confused and then another color for how we understand it, and that.
Good. How does that help you, having that color change?
Well, I mean, it helps with organization, I guess, because then you'd know this was when he was confused, and then this is where he started to get it. He understood it a bit more.
Nice. Can you tell us how tutorials have helped you with your core classes?
Tutorials helped me with questions that I have been confused with, because sometimes I may have a problem on my homework that I could not solve because I was confused, so I could use that. Or on a quiz that I got a question wrong, I got a question wrong on a quiz, then I would know why I got it wrong and how to fix it.
Nice. How do your classmates help you in the group? Do they just tell you how to do it, or how does that work? How do they help you?
They help me hint me towards the answer that I'm looking for. They help.
Do they tell you, or do they ask you questions?
They ask questions help me get my answer.
Okay, awesome. Now, can I say one more thing? Sorry. So, Edwin, I know that you get all A's in school. So,
Yeah.
do you think that AVID has contributed to any of your successes?
Definitely. Before, I wasn't really focused in AVID the first 2 years, and my grades weren't as great as they are now. And AVID really helped me out a lot.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Well.
Okay, I want you to.
Let me on the other side.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh, you don't?
No, that's fine. No.
Sorry.
No, I needed to.
Okay.
Change that. Let's leave this here. And you're looking.
At me.
Okay.
We're having a conversation.
Okay, so say and spell your name.
Daisy, D-A-I-S-I, Vialta, V-I-L-L-A-L-T-A.
Okay.
Okay. So, Daisy, can you talk a little bit about how tutorial is different from last year to this year?
Well, last year we would used to do tutorial with one color, And this year, once our teammates start helping us, we would change our color so we would see our mistakes and what they told us to do.
Okay. So how do tutorials help you in your core classes?
Well, usually I do math. So in math, like I don't understand something, and sometimes the teachers are busy. And then for a tutorial, I would bring in a question that I didn't understand, and then I would do it with my teammates, and then they would help me out. So then I would understand it better than before.
Yeah. So how do they help you out? Do they tell you what to do, or how do they help you? Or do they ask you questions?
Yeah, they ask me questions.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
So when they ask me questions, I try to figure out what they mean and how, and basically the questions just help me answer mine to like do my problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to think if I have any other questions for you. Do you think that doing tutorials helps you on quizzes or helps you to get better grades in that class? Can you think of a time maybe that there was a question you did in tutorial? Or no?
No.
That's okay. No worries. You're good. Thanks.
Okay, I need you to say and spell your name.
Adam Wampler, ADAMWAMPLER.
P.
PLER.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Adam, so can you talk a little bit about how tutorials have changed from 7th to 8th grade?
They've changed some bit amount, because now like whenever like we make a mistake, we go back in a different color and change it and revise it. Then on the paper, on the note paper, the person that's taking your notes, they add a different color where you made a mistake in. And then also on the TRF, the paper TRF, that now we have to write what we already know about the problem instead of just the definitions and the problem, showing the work and writing it out in steps.
Okay, great. My other question is, how have tutorials helped you in your core classes?
It's like kind of like a freebie, I guess, because like you get knowledge from the other kids, which help you on your tests coming up and homeworks that you don't know. So it's kind of like they help you. It's just a big help in class with stuff you don't know and you don't have like a full understanding of.
Okay, so where do you get your questions from for tutorial?
Usually I use math.
And
like algebra.
And
like what papers?
Right.
I use usually the classworks that I mess up on, that I don't get good grades on.
Okay. Let me think. So how do your classmates help you with questioning in the group? Do they tell you how to do it, or do they ask you questions?
Like
how
they
does
don't.
that work?
They don't tell us straight up what it is. They ask us questions to help us, and instead of like being straight with it, they make us think about it and actually help us out with questions. Because when you just tell them right what it is, it's not helping them at all.
Right. So them asking you questions helps you to think more?
Yeah. It helps you think more about the problem.
Okay. Can you think of any time that you brought a question to tutorial and you think it helped you on a quiz? Can you talk a little bit about that, or on a test? Or
Probably on spring break, like before spring break, I brought in a problem about, pretty sure what it was, about graphing quadratics and helping me with the helping me with the table and putting it into vertex form, changing it from standard form with vertex form.
And did you end up having a quiz or a test on
Yes,
that?
which I got to be on.
Very nice. All right, cool. Thanks.
No problem.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Next.
Have a good rest of your day.
All right, here, let me give you this pass. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate your help.
Okay, I just want you to run this up to the top. Okay, you can hold that. Okay, whoa, I guess I have to make it a little.
Yeah, I'm short.
Nervous?
Very.
Oh, you'll do fine.
Okay, say and spell your name. Say and spell your name.
Ademalade Adelican, Ademilade, and then my last name's Adelican, Adelekan.
And what grade are you in?
6th grade.
Okay.
All right, so we know you're new to AVID this year. Can you talk a little bit about how AVID has, or the tutorials have helped you in your core class?
My tutorials have helped me to create strategies to answer questions. Like one day Ms. Luke helped me with a triangle for negative numbers, and I started using that and I started getting A's on my graded assignments, and it's just really helping me getting a higher grade in math each marking period.
Okay. What kinds of questions do you bring to tutorials? How do you choose your questions?
Usually with equations, and I bring my my triangles. I still keep my triangle to help me with negative numbers and positive numbers.
Do you bring questions that you already know how to solve?
No, because there's no point in that tutorial. It's not going to help me at all if I already know the question and the answer to it.
Okay. Do you look at, what are some of the sources that you use, that you look at?
Sometimes I use this thing called GEMDOS, and it gives me a list of what I should do and what steps you should do first and what steps you should do last.
Okay. Do you use your homework? Do you use graded assignments, quizzes, tests? Like, where do you pull your
I usually get it from something my teacher already graded, so I already know what I got wrong. So in tutorials, it'll help me learn how to answer that question.
Okay. How do your group mates help you during tutorial?
They ask really specific and good questions, and it helps me think about it to answer the question again.
Good job, Demi. You did great. Nice job.
Thank you.
Really good. Really, really good.
Thank you.
Up over there.
All right. Is this
Last one?
Yeah. Okay. Just run this up to the top.
Was your sister in AVID?
Yeah.
What was her name?
Nicole.
Nicole. I wasn't teaching her when she was in there.
Okay. Say and spell your name.
My name is Erin Loftus, Erinloftice.
Okay, Erin, so we know you're new to AVID this year. Can you talk a little bit about how the tutorials have helped you in your classes?
Tutorials have helped me because in like math class mostly, you can bring your things you don't understand in your class to your AVID class, and they help you better understand it, and they support you and they don't judge you if you don't understand it.
What types of, how does your group help you?
They talk you through the problem and give you better methods to help you understand it.
So when they give you those methods, are they telling you how to do it? How do they, or do they ask you questions?
They ask me questions so I can answer them, and if I can't answer them, they give me tips on how to do it better.
Do you think it would be better if they told you how to solve a problem, or if they do it by asking you high-level questions and asking you questions?
I think it's better if they ask you questions, because if they tell you how to do it, you won't be able to learn it for yourself.
Awesome. Good girl. All right.